In 1964, a Japanese company named Asahi Opticals introduced a camera called the Spotmatic. It became one of the highest selling cameras of its time, selling more units per month than all the other manufacturers combined. This included some of the well-known brands that we know today like Canon and Nikon. In 1973, they released the Spotmatic F, which you can see in my hands right now, and it belonged to my grandfather. The camera was based on a 35mm film system, which came in cartridges that you could load into the back. Once the film was in place, all you needed to do was pull the lever on the left and push the button. This would open a small window that is called the shutter to expose the film to light. Once the film was all used up, you would rewind the film and take it to get developed. The Spotmatic is a single lens reflex camera, or in short, an SLR. SLR is the parent of the commonly used DSLR we find today, with the D standing for digital. SLR means that when you look through the viewfinder at the top of the camera, you'll be looking directly down the lens via a mirror. This mirror springs up out of the way when you push the trigger. The dial on the left of the trigger is to set the shutter speed. It is basically how long the little door to the film will stay open for. Longer it is open, more light will be exposed to the film and brighter the image will be. Today, with modern technology, many digital cameras will calculate the shutter speed for you automatically, making sure that the photo is not too dark or too bright. On the dial, the numbers represent fractions of time. For example, a thousandth of a second or 250th of a second. Once the shutter speed is selected, the photographer will then pull the lever and then push the button to expose the film to light. Other ways that the photographer could affect the image were through the aperture and focus rings on the lens. The aperture is used to control how much light passes through the lens, and the focusing ring is used to ensure the image is in focus. For this lens, the aperture went from 1.4 to 16, with 1.4 letting in the most light. If we look through the viewfinder, we can see what makes the Spotmatic so special for its time. On the left-hand side, you can see a light meter. You can see the needle on the left move up and down as I change the aperture to let more light in. This was used to help the photographer select the correct shutter speed and aperture before taking a photo. If you wanted to take a selfie, then no problem. It came with a mechanical spring timer on the front. All you had to do is pull it aside and press a button. Another feature that made the camera so special was the easy way you could mount a lens. It basically was just a screw-in. This system was called an M42 and became a standard of its time. I think a good example of showing how an aperture works is by pushing this little pin. You can see the blades collapse inside to limit the amount of light that goes through the lens. If I push the button on the shutter again, you will see the mirror flip up out of the way, blocking the viewfinder and exposing the film behind. This is essentially what makes an SLR. I think this is a beautiful camera and I really enjoy every moment I get a chance to play with it. As it is a manual camera, it also gives me a chance to have a better understanding of the basics of a SLR. For example, like the shutter speed and the aperture, in its most rawest form. Hopefully making me a better photographer in the end. Of course, it could never replace a modern DSLR, but there is something special about using something that is older than I am. I hope you enjoyed my video about the Asahi Pentax Spotmatic. And until next time, thank you for watching.